applaud Madam as well. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you so much. I'd also like to let you know that this morning, it's going to be a very brisk event because the president of this great association says that we have to keep to COVID-19 protocols, and indeed we will do just that. I'd also at this point in time, I'd like to recognize and welcome the chairman of today's occasion. I'd like to let you know that the chairman is a man of very many parts and comes from a line of great achievers. I'm talking about a gentleman that I always respect, and wherever he is, it's always an honor for me to recognize him. He is none other than the chairman of the Phillips Consulting, and this gentleman with a very quiet man, very approachable, and a great family man. He believes in humanitarian causes, and indeed, he is a great philanthropist. Please, could you welcome the chairman of today's occasion, Mr. Felicia Phillips. I cannot hear your applause. I cannot hear your applause. The chairman, sir, we appreciate you, and we thank you for being here. I'm not here alone. I'm not going to compare this event alone. I like to cede the microphone at this point to an old girl of this great institution, Queen's College, Queen's School. I'd like to hand over the microphone to Roti Obileye. Please come here, applaud her.
Morning. The president, Queen's School Ibadan, Ede Old Girls Association, Mr. Damson, our special guests, and old girls, you are welcome to the epoch-making occasion to celebrate one of our own, Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadevoh, the that gave her life to save Nigeria from the pandemic of Ebola. For those who do not know Ameyo, she was 2 years my senior. I recollect seeing her in the campus of Queen's School, more patient, petite, fresh-faced, beautiful, cerebral, and very personable. I was not surprised that she went ahead to make a fantastic inroad into her profession as a doctor, a consultant endocrinologist. From a wonderful background, her father, former VC of University of Lagos, her great-grandfather, the famous Herbert Macaulay, the politician of note, blue blood with silver spoon. What a shame. May her beautiful soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. When the school decided to do this project to immortalize Ameyo, I found myself checking, what has the government done for this wonderful woman? Only last year, they named the street after her, Gwarimpa. This is a woman that deserves a national award. So, thank you, Dr. Adamson, the president of Queen's School Old Girls Association, for the initiative to recognize and immortalize our dear Ameyu. May her soul rest in peace. Amen.
Thank you very much for that very good brief. I'd like us to please welcome the representative of the governor of Lagos State, the representative of Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Please can we welcome with a round of applause the secretary to the state government of Lagos State, Mrs. Folashade Jaju. I cannot hear your applause. She's not here alone. She's also accompanied by the Honorable Commissioner for Education in Lagos State. I am not surprised that she is an old girl of Queen's School, Ede Ibadan. I'm talking about Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo. Thank you very much for being here this morning, ma. I'd also like to recognize the representative of the Honorable Commissioner for Health in Lagos State, Dr. Saka. Thank you all very much for being here and doing us this great honor. The SSG, who is representing Mr. Governor, thank you for being here this morning.
A warm round of applause for the SSG Lagos State. You know, everybody that is here this morning, an attachment, a wonderful attachment to Queen's School. It is not by accident that Mrs. Jaji is the wife to an old boy of Government College, Mr. Biodun Jaji. Biodun left Queen's School Mall Plantation and went elsewhere to pick a bride. But some people pick their brides from Mall Plantation. We'll talk about that later. And the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Lagos State, Folashade Ifatuwoti Adefisayo. Queen's School, distinguished old girl of Queen's School. Congratulations, madam. We're proud of your achievements. You know, a lot of Queen's School girls are breaking the glass ceiling. Everywhere they go, they make a mark. When I first came from Ibadan to Lagos to start adult life, I used to go out to function. There were few people that I admired at social functions. Surprisingly, I found old girls. Some of them are here today. Lady Maiden Hebrew, the chairman of Guardian, you're welcome, ma'am. A distinguished old girl of Queen's School, Dr. Femi Ogusaya, the founder of College, another distinguished old girl. If you go into the area of education in this nation, Queen's School old girls have made their mark in this area of education. The Ivy College is owned by an Global College is owned by an old girl. Bolaji Osime, Bolaji Andrew. The Supreme College is owned by an old girl, Mrs. Nike Adawolekun. Can I go on? Can I go on? A round of applause for these awesome old girls of Queen's School, Ede Ibadan. Not only do we have them in the academia, in every sphere, you will find an old girl. My sister, a former chapter president of Lagos, Sister Debola is here. She made a fantastic inroad in the corporate industry in Lagos, Guinness to be precise. A round of applause. Bola Fashola is a Lagos State, Lagos Homes, making waves. Everywhere you look, you find Queen's School girls there doing awesome things. And also the men who are astute enough. You know, they say that behind every successful man, there's a woman. Those who are enough, they pick an old girl of Queen School for a bride. We have in our midst this morning, Abayomi, the commissioner for, is represented by Dr. Sakaru, had been ably announced. You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much. And please tell our commissioner that we're proud of him. He's done a wonderful job with containment of COVID-19 in Lagos State. We hope the second jab commence as announced for those of us who are brave enough to take the vaccine. Èkó ò ní bàjẹ́ o, ìlọsíwájú Èkó ló jẹ wá lógún. Amen.
Thank you very much indeed. We're just awaiting the arrival of Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State. And I understand she's just a few minutes away from here. Mr. Governor, the Governor of Lagos State, ably represented, very shortly, commence earnest this event. In honor of Dr. Stella Amazon and heroine. We indeed appreciate all her contributions to ensuring that life is indeed a continuum, even despite the Ebola pandemic. I want to specially commend the president of All Girls Association of Queen School, Edo-Ibadan, Dr. Mrs. Adamson. Please, can we put our hands together for Madam President? Please, can we put our hands together for her? I want to say that what Madam President is doing in recognition of the efforts of Dr. Amore Stella Adadevoh is quite commendable. I can tell you for a fact that in Lagos State, she is in She is indeed our hero. And in the fight against Ebola, the President Honorable Commissioner for Health was also in the forefront. Therefore, it's indeed a thing of honor for us in Lagos State and Nigeria as a whole to celebrate this great woman at this event. Very shortly, we will commence in earnest. And while we're holding on, can we have very, very light music in the background? Thank you very much. also like to recognize the arrival of the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Mrs. Noimot Salako Oyedele, and alumnus of Queen's School, Ede Ibadan. Your Excellency, you're very welcome, ma'am. We thank you for being here this morning. Thank you very much.
A resounding applause for the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, the Gateway State, Engineer Mrs. Noimo Salako Oyedele, a distinguished old girl of Queen's School, Ede Ibadan. Earlier on, I was telling you that the girls from Queen's School have broken the glass ceilings in different areas. Here we are again. A deputy governor from one of us. You're welcome, Your Excellency. Well done, well done. We see what you're doing in Ogun State, and we're extremely proud of you. Greater heights in Jesus' name. Without further ado, let us Shall we settle down? We are having more people join us, but brevity is the order of the day. We don't want to waste too much of your time this beautiful Saturday morning after the wonderful showers from God. So I'll hand over the microphone to Busola to start off the proceedings of today.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we kick off this program, I'd like to let us know that it is only God that has made a day such as this possible. Therefore, I crave our indulgence. Please, can we all settle down? We will go about the greetings and exchange of pleasantries much later. Old girls, please, we will take photographs after this event. Old girls, I plead with us to please settle down. We will take photographs after this event.
Distinguished old girls, if you do not obey us, whoever has the mic has the power. I'll command you to go and stand on top of the table in the dining hall. Principal say, make you all go under the tree. Sister Gbemi, I see you. I have the mic today. I can order you to stand on the table. Can we settle down, please, and start this proceeding? Queens, thank you.
At this point in time, I'd like to invite the founder, Oxbridge College, Dr. Femi Ogunsanya, to please lead us in an opening prayer. Can we applaud Dr. Femi Ogunsanya?
Shall we?
Can we please settle down to say a short prayer? Father Lord, we thank you for the opportunity of gathering here today to celebrate one of your angels. Blessed are the memory of the righteous, a righteous woman who lived a righteous life and who gave her life as a sacrifice for the deliverance of her country and the world from a plague. Lord, we thank you for the life of Ameo. We thank you for all that she was able to achieve in her short life. We thank you for blessing us with an angel in the form of Ameo. Lord Almighty, as we gather today to celebrate, because today is really about celebrating her life, and to honor her with the edifice that's to be constructed at our alma mater. We pray, Lord, that you cheer this occasion, that you celebrate with us, and that you grant us a very productive and successful outcome of today's event. May all those who have come return to their respective homes in safety. All those who are on their way, may they arrive in safety. And may it all glorify you today and forevermore. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
A round of applause for Dr. Ogosoya, distinguished old girl, founder, Oxbridge College, Ikeja. Thank you, ma'am.
The Governor of Lagos State, our own Governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by the Secretary to the State Government of Lagos, Mrs. Folashade Jaju. The Deputy Governor of Ogun State, the Gateway State. I don't know if to say part of Lagos or part of Ogun because she's part of West Hill Lagos. Her Excellency, Engineer Mrs. Naimot Salako Oyedele. The Honorable Minister for Health in this great country, Nigeria, ably represented at this event by none other than the MD of the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, Dr. Oluwayomi Oba. Honorable for Health in Lagos State, the man we proudly refer to as Ekoko COVID. I'm talking about Professor Akin Abayomi, ably represented by Dr. Saka. The Honorable Commissioner for Education in Lagos State, an old girl, but rest assured she is not old, going by her achievements in the education sector in Lagos State. I'm talking about none other than Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo. Our Father of the Day, Kabiyesi, His Royal Majesty, the Alake and paramount ruler of Obaland, Oba Badebe, ably represented by the Lagama of Obaland, Dr. Chief Folarin Williams, and the anybody of Obaland, Chief Rashid Taiwo. The chairman of today's occasion, our own very dear and precious, I will say, Chairman Phillips Consulting, Mr. Felicia Phillips. I'd also like to recognize our own very dear and precious son of a soul that has continued to make Nigeria and indeed a medical profession and entity of very many, a doctor of repute, a physician and endocrinologist, renowned scholar, administrator, chairman, Eko Hospital PLC, and the chairman of the Federal Tertiary Hospital. Also, the former chairman of Ecobank Nigeria, founder of the Sonu Kuku Foundation. Please also welcome with me, Chief Dr. Ologun Sonu Kuku, AFR. Our own Chief Medical Director, the Humana Hospital in Ikeja, here in Lagos, that have continued to help the less privileged and even ensure good health. Sandro, he's not here alone, he's here with his wife. Please welcome with me, Dr. and Mrs. Obiako. Like to The members of the Adadevo family here present, we thank you very much for being here. Not forgetting the president of All Girls Association, Queen's School, Ede Ibadan. Please welcome with me with a very resounding round of applause, Dr. Mrs. Adamson.
While waiting for our president to come and give our opening address, can I also welcome the arrival of Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Olumide Phillips, who is one of our special guests today. Dr. Mrs. Phillips is the founder of Darwin College. A round of applause for them. I told you Queen's School All Girls are doing wonderfully well everywhere they find themselves. You're welcome, Madam President.
At this point in time, before we go ahead, I'd like to invite to please come to the podium to give a welcome address at today's event. Before constituting this panel up here, I'd like to invite the very Before we go ahead, I'd like to crave your indulgence that we would have very light music before we go to the welcome address.
Your Royal Majesties, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, distinguished All Girls of Queen's School, you're welcome to this auspicious occasion. To give further background on why we are here to immortalize one of ours, Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadevo, who gave her life for this nation. For those of us who are Christians, we know that Jesus Christ was sent by our Lord and Savior to come and give his life for us so that we can be saved. Because the Bible says in John 3:16 that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish but have eternal life. Dr. Ameyo gave her life for Nigeria. She gave her life. And that is why we can't stop celebrating and shouting her name to the rooftops. Somewhere in this gathering this morning is her bestow, Mrs. Violet Chester. Everywhere they went, please stand up. Let us give you a round of applause. That is Dr. Ameyo Adadevo's bestow. Everywhere in the Lagos social scene, you see them together, dressed in the same attire. Sorry for your loss. Your sister is in a better place. I wish she was still here with us, but we love her, and forever, generation yet unborn will celebrate Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadevo. May her soul continue to rest in peace, and may her memory be a blessing. We're expecting a lot of people, and some of the special guests that we have this afternoon is none other than Dr. Osage Ehanire, the Honorable Minister for Health. Interestingly, Dr. Ehanire's two siblings are Old Girls of Queen's School. Dr. Abebe, Ejoke Abebe, oh, I'm being corrected. Florence Ehanire was in Queen's School. So we have tongues and tentacles all over Nigeria. What a great school. What a great honor. What a great benefit to have attended the best school in the Western region then. May the Lord help us to make Queen's School the best school in Nigeria for now. That is our mission, and we shall accomplish it in Jesus' name. With your help, with your donation, we'll be able to make a difference in Queen's School. God bless you. I'm taking you prepping you for the fundraising, so that if you came with some tashere, you will up the ante and make sure that you will do much more, exceedingly, abundantly above. Thank you very much.
Thank you. At this point in time, I'd like to invite to please come up to the podium at this event. I will be starting off with the chairman of today's occasion. Please can you welcome up to the podium our own Mr. Felicia Phillips, chairman of today's occasion. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much, sir. I'd also like to, at this point in time, thank you. I had to bring up the chairman first, so that like the king that he is, he will welcome the queens up to their seat. And the first queen to join him on the podium this morning will be none other than the president of all the queens. And I'd like to invite the president of the Queen's School, Ede Ibadan, Old Girls Association. Please welcome very resoundingly Dr. Mrs. Adamso as she comes up to the podium. Thank you so much, ma'am. At this point in time, I'd like to invite to please join the Queen and the first king that is already on the podium this morning, the special guest of honor. I'm talking about the Honorable Minister of Health, who is ably represented by none other than the MD for the Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba. Please give you welcome Dr. Oluwayomi Obe to the high table. While we are waiting the arrival of Chief Lunch, I'd like to invite the guest speaker, our own very dear, you don't need to ask her, she has it just at her fingertips. I'm talking about the Honorable Commissioner for Education in Lagos State. Please give me welcome Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo. At this point in time, I'd like to invite another queen, a queen with a difference now. She is not just a queen, she is the deputy governor of the Gateway States. I'm talking about Her Excellency, Engineer Mrs. Noimot Salako Oyedele. Your Excellency, now you're very welcome. Can I hear your applause? Can I hear your applause? Can I hear your applause, please? Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We appreciate your presence. Thank you very much. At this point in time, it is the turn of the host governor of this event. And don't forget, it was his state that this woman actually rose up to save, but by extension, at this point, I'd like to invite none other than the governor of the Center of Excellence, the State of Aquatic Splendor. I'm sure Her Excellency Engineer Molmot, she got a taste of the aquatic splendor coming in to Lagos today. Please welcome the governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by the Secretary to the State Government of Lagos, Mrs. Folashade Jaju. I cannot hear your applause. I cannot hear your applause. I cannot hear your applause. Mr. Governor, thank you very much for being here, ably represented. Thank you very much. Mr. Governor, thank you for being here, ably represented by Mrs. Folashade Jaju. Thank you so much. All our distinguished guests, we appreciate your presence and we say thank you for believing in this course. At this point in time, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to formally welcome each and every one of us, I'd like to invite to the microphone the president of Old Girls Association, the #1 queen that leads all other queens. Please put your hands together for the welcome address to be presented by Dr. Mrs. Adamson. Can I hear your applause, please?
Thank you very much. The national anthem. Thank you very much. I think we should start with the national anthem, please. We should start with the national anthem. The music should be on. Okay. Emi Olonwo. Mrs. Beecroft to lead us, please. She has such a beautiful, angelic voice. Mrs. Bemi Beecroft, please. Okay, let it be on. Take the school song, please. Thank you. The first and the last stanza. Yeah, let's be upstanding, our grandmas and great grandmas.
Please, can we stand up for the school song? What's on the torch? Still brightly gleaming. It's in, do you have this? If you have this, please, can you give people who don't have? Page 7, please. Page 7. Is there music for you? Is there music for it? Okay, let's start. Pass on the streets to brightly gleaming, pass on the walks, the honest dreaming, to those who follow close at hand. Pass on the thoughts that keep learning, pass on the secret in most yearning, that they may be of blind. The last stanza. Pass on the truth, the grace being unite us here. Up sometime, bring down no fear to years can save them. Forward praise, not backward turning, that is the death, not brightly burning, nearest passing, and
Wow, the voice as beautiful as she is. Before we start again, I'm sorry, I'm going to get you upstanding. Once more. This time we need to observe a 1 minute silence in memory of the person we are honoring today. Our heroine, the Ebola Amazon. There is no other word one can use to describe what Ameyo Adadebo did for us and did for Nigeria. So can we please stand up to observe a 1 minute silence in her memory? Thank you. Hello? Okay, thank you very much. Don't worry. If you work where I do my job, then being unpredictable and erratic comes with the terrain. I'm a psychiatrist by profession. So no wonder the mics may start to misbehave. The chairman of this auspicious occasion, a very revered elder, a man of distinction, a man when he was chosen, I said, I had to quickly Google, and I was amazed at what I saw. Very humble, very quiet. He comes in, but he's a colossus. I want to welcome no other than Mr. Folusha Phillips, the founder and chief executive of Phillips Consulting, Lagos. You are welcome, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Your Excellencies are also one of us, alumna of Queen's School, partly, and also somewhere else, but we've adopted her as fully ours. Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, you are welcome, Your Excellency. I want to also welcome the representative of the Lagos State Governor and the person of the head of service, Secretary to Government, Mrs. Folashade Jaji. She's married to a Lagosian. Once you see some Lagos names, you know, like the Adamses and so on. You are welcome, ma'am. Thank you. I want to also recognize one of us, a psychiatrist of no mean repute, the current Chief Medical Director of the famous Yaba Left Psychiatric Hospital, Yaba, in the person of Dr. Ogun. You are welcome. Now our Chief Launcher, no other than Sir Kesentin Adebuti. Baba has not left his house since the COVID struck, and that's going to nearly 1.5 years ago. He would have loved to be here, but he's sending one of his foremost emissaries, Are Oyefeso. I just phoned him, he said he's on his way, and I'm sure he will join us very soon. Our guest speaker, you know, Queen's School can always boast of everybody, whether as captains of industries, as medical professionals, as engineers, captains of newspapers. We have one of our lady, Hebrew, here present in the educational industry, so many of them. We are also proud of you, our women, and please keep the torch burning brightly. Our guest speaker is no longer than an international icon, a motivational speaker in the person of the current Commissioner for Education and Women Affairs in Lagos State, Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo. You are welcome, ma'am. Today promises to be an exciting occasion for us all. I will now read my address. I promise you it will not be more than 5 minutes. It is with a great sense of gratitude that I stand to welcome you all to this auspicious occasion, an occasion that heralds the launch of an iconic building in memory of one of us and an alumni of Queen's School at Ibadan, the late Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadevoh, 1956 to 2014. Age, 58 years, nearly 58, she was actually 57 at the time of her demise. Without doubt, she remains the Ebola Amazon and heroine of our time. What is happening today has been a journey of many years. When the idea of remodeling the derelict Students' Assembly Hall at Queen's School or building a new one was mooted by former executives of this great association and later even by the Lagos chapter. What the current executive has done is to expand this dream and to embark on its actualization. The first date chosen was Saturday, 9th May 2020, but alas, this was not to be, as coronavirus heralded its deadly fangs all over the world with a COVID-19 disease, a pandemic that literally left all of us gasping for breath. It was a wake-up call, reminding us that God still controls the affairs of men. Saturday, March 2021 was again chosen. And then we were confronted with a second wave of COVID-19 disease. I give God the glory we were not consumed by it, but a few of our loved ones succumbed to this monster of a virus. The association lost no fewer than 8 of our members. We remember them today and pray for the sweet repose of their gentle souls. What a travesty of life that Dr. Ameyu Adadevoh fought a similar virus nearly 7 years ago, virtually all alone, to save her countrymen and women. She took the bullet for us all. As David Pink opines, we live by making choices, and to every man is given the power of choice. Dr. Adadevoh made that choice. It consumed her, but then transformed her into an enigma, a colossus, an international icon, an Amazon that she herself could never have imagined. Dr. Ameyu Adadevoh became celebrated all over the world. In fact, more celebrated abroad than in Nigeria. In the face of death, she did not quiver. In the face of threats of not releasing a top Liberian government functionary, the Index Ebola case in Nigeria, she stood her ground and did not succumb. She did not succumb. Kudos to a woman of steel, of conviction, and of courage. Why such an edifice, you may ask? It is primarily to immortalize her memory and etch her into our psyche, a permanent building, a permanent legacy. Secondly, it is to fill the yearning gap in the educational sector of this country, littered with decaying infrastructure all over the country. We took, as an association, we took a decision to partner with government. Thirdly, in an environment where heroes are vilified, where human models who should act as springboards for others to follow are becoming extinct and endangered. A structure such as this will act as a reminder that a person can make a difference, that we are remembered not by what we have received, but always by what we have given. This prism should endanger selfless service in the girl child. Queen's School Ibadan has had a checkered history. She started off as an offshoot of Queen's College, Lagos. However, as part of the commemoration of the newly crowned Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, 4 pioneering students from Queen's College, Lagos, including a principal, were relocated in 1952 to Ede, a town in the Old Western region, to start this new school in honor of the new queen. The site this school was situated in, it was sheer paradise, with its alluring lamps. I don't have it all. Manicured lawns and well-streamlined staff quarters. The boarding sections were strategically placed, each identified by its alluring trees that were used to name the houses. We had Baobab, Casuarina, I am Casuarina, and we are called Casuarina full of ladies. Palm and later Almond at Ibadan. The school sessions were connected by winding guardrails to the assembly hall. The manicured lawns warmly embraced entrances to our science laboratories. We were tutored not only in the academics, but in morals, etiquette, including how to walk a lady. You could not be but part of the sporting activities, literary and debating societies, acting group, and other extracurricular groups. You were taught to be a rounded woman. This shaped most of us to be who we became in life. What a sharp departure from what beholds our public educational system in this country today. Where did we get it all wrong? Paradoxically, Queen's School was moved from this idyllic environment in Ede to Ibadan at Apata in 1967 for reasons that still baffle most of us till today. It was a new site bereft of adequate infrastructure. It has been a struggle since then. Kudos to the alumni members. I want to salute you all alumni members who have stood in the gap, building classrooms, buying equipment, recruiting and paying teachers' salaries. In fact, in 1919, going to 1920, the new executive governor of Oyo State sacked all the PTA teachers. Queen's School lost about 50, the bulk of our teachers. So the alumni had to come up, paying teachers and paying their salaries last 1.5 years. These alumni members have never given up on Queen's School. I salute you all and I thank you most immensely. I therefore appeal to all our guests and donors that your giving today should be driven by what you have heard, and more importantly, by who you are remembering and celebrating. The values she stood for, and above all, the young minds schooling and still to school in a secondary school, Queen's School. These are minds that are yet to blossom to their full potential. Minds that can really be sharpened by iconic models and heroines like that of Dr. Ameyo Adadevoh. They are your grandchildren and great-grandchildren. We need to give them a better future. We need to send a strong message as Dr. Ameyo Adadevoh did. And the message is loud and clear: to pursue service for the greater good of all. As you give generously today, we appreciate you and pray that you shall be blessed multiple folds. To those who have already sent in their donations, we cannot but thank you enough. Thank you, sir, as a man. You are blessed by his grace. I use this opportunity to this prayer to the government, particularly the federal government of Nigeria, and urge it and plead with it. And this mic should not cease. And to them that Dr. Ahmed is having to be named after a tertiary health institution in this country. IDH Yaba is there. We have specialty hospitals. We have psychiatric hospitals. We have federal medical centers. We need to show our appreciation to this heroine who has taught us that the greater use of life is to use it for something that outlasts all. She surely did that. We salute her courage. Thank you, Ameyo. You are our heroine. We want to assure our donors that your donations will be used judiciously for what it is intended for. We give you our trust. I thank you all for your attention.
A round of applause for our president. Thank you, ma'am. When we were welcoming the chairman of today's occasion, I told him that I'll see him later. The distinguished Minister of Health, ably represented, the Governor of Lagos State, ably represented, and the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, our own distinguished old girl here present, our royal fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome the chairman of today, Mr. Folusha. Mr. Phillips, the Executive Director, Executive Chairman, and founder of Phillips Consulting Limited, a firm engaged in business and management consulting in Nigeria and South Africa. An industrial economist, a chartered management accountant of the United Kingdom, and a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Mr. Phillips is very active in the Nigerian corporate scene and sits on many boards as director, trustee, or shareholders of commercial organizations, NGOs, and charities. He is the chairman, Nigerian Economic Summit Group, chairman, Nigeria South Africa Chamber of Commerce, and many more. A prolific public speaker. When you see him at functions, he's either dressed in his native agbada, well starched with his Kembe trousers. And if he's not wearing native, well turned out in bespoke suit with his famous bow tie. He's famed to have a huge collection of bow ties. He's no doubt an accomplished personality, but I dare say his greatest accomplishment is being married to an old girl of Queen's School, Mrs. Yimika Olaniru Ajayi Phillips. So, your board chairman today is not an accident. It was ordained way back from Moore Plantation, even though we didn't see you on the Lovers Lane. And because of that unique connection, I know your check is going to speak volume. Oh my Lord, God. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome our chairman to the podium to give his address, Mr. Folusha Olajide Phillips.
Thank you so much. Well, what can I say? I had everything planned, but all of a sudden with introduction, I've been a bit stymied. Let me start by recognizing and really acknowledging the president of the Queen's School Old Girls Association, Dr. Damson. You really need to give her a huge round of applause because she's worked so very hard. I never met her before, but we've spoken several times on the phone. And when I actually met her in person, I connected and realized the amount of energy. And, you know, she's a very, I am in charge. And I thank you very much for that. Let me also recognize our very distinguished guest right here on the high table. The governor of Lagos State, represented by Mrs. Jaji, and obviously my darling sister, the Ogun State Deputy Governor, Ms. Not Salakoyedele. I recognize you. And also the representative of the Minister of Health, I recognize you. And our wonderful speaker of today, long-time accomplice in our days of economic summit hustling around, Mrs. Shade Adefisayo. And I also recognize the House Royal Chiefs and even my seniors here from seniors and colleagues from Igbobi College. You know, standing here, I wear several caps. We will talk about the relationship with Queen's College, but more importantly is the fact that we have every represented here, Igbobi College Old Boys Association. Say. You see, you know, somebody said we Igbobians, but the Queen's School girls cannot but come and accept our hands in marriage. You know, it's just the way it has gone. All right. But I thank you all very much, and I thank you for the honor of just being the chairman of this occasion. I really didn't have much of a choice because my connection with Queen's School is so high. My sister, Bimbola Dada, Princess Bimbola Dada, she went to Queen's School. I'm married to a Queen's School lady, yes. And I have several cousins, of which unfortunately we lost one very recently. You know, Dr. Mrs. BC Gejuru Phillips, she passed on very recently. And I have a lot of friends of my sisters, friends of my cousins. And so I am so connected with the Queen School. There was no way I could dodge. But I must say that it's a great pleasure to be here. A lot has been said about Ameyo, and I really cannot add any more, simply because a lot of you spent many of your years with her, both at school. A lot of you worked with her in her professional life, and there's so much that she has done that I don't think I would do any justice to talking about her. But what I do want to spend just a minute or two talking about is the cause for which we're all here today, which is to try to raise money in order to honor her memory and that of so many other people that have done wonderful things for this country. I think so far we are failing in doing that. And this initiative of putting up a structure in her honor is something that I really commend you for, and it's a major task that I hope that you all would ensure that you achieve. It's going to be very wonderful to have a building, hopefully named after her, so that every day her name is mentioned in one way or another. I know the personal experience I've had of my mother-in-law, whereby the family building, office block that's built in Banana is actually called the Adunola House. My mother-in-law was late Mrs. Adunola Ajayi. And anytime you say, go down to Adunola House, you turn right, send a message, somebody stays in Adunola House. So you found that any particular day, that name is always mentioned. And I'm hoping that with Ameyo, by the time we put up this structure, and hopefully many other buildings in our honor, her name will always be mentioned, and that is how we will sustain her memory. But what is important is how we can raise the funds to make this thing possible. There are many challenges that you face. I mean, even organizing this, this meeting here, this gathering, this fundraising, you can see the sheer logistics and effort that one has to put into these things to make them work and to make it happen. Now imagine trying to put up a building worth some 250, probably 300 million naira. It's a lot of effort. And I know that the old girls have been doing a lot based on what I've heard and based on what I've felt from time. But it's a project like this that faces several risks. The risk of, will we complete this project, ensuring that this project is not abandoned? Will we have the ability to raise the money? Because it is not something you do once, it's something you've got to continue to do and hope that the money comes together for it. The risk of making wrong assumptions about our costings. We say 250 million, it might end up being 500 million. And the rate at which the prices of things are going up today, I won't be surprised if our figure is already out of date. And so the risk of being over-ambitious with some of the things that we want to do. Even some people will begin to question the relevance of different things we do as a group, because people have different attitudes. Issues about donor fatigue. We find that we go back to the same people each time, asking them for money endlessly. They do the little that they can, but after a time, it becomes extremely tiring and extremely challenging. And the thing about this project and this fundraising, the fundraising is just being kicked off today. And we have to find a way in which we can sustain continuously the whole act of raising funds. It is a major task, a major skill, and a major effort that has got to be put in to ensure that these things happen. And what I want to do is to even briefly share the experience of Igbobi College Obo's Association, where we know that when we got our school back some 10, 15 years or so ago, it was an endless effort, and it is still an effort that we're going through, trying to raise money to do different things. And believe me, it's a tough job, but you've got to be determined to see this through. You've got to be determined to ensure that you don't stop at it. At Igbobi College, we drew up a strategic plan. We've drawn up a master plan for the school. We've drawn up an educational master plan for the school. There's so many things that you've got to do for the school, okay? And in as much as the building of an Ameyo hall is important, I want you all to think of it in a wider context of what it is and how it is you can maintain your impact on the school. Just 2 days ago, I had a conversation with a certain senior of mine based in the United States. And he was sharing with me the fact that his last child left university 15 years ago. But over the last 15 years, he still continues to make contributions to the university. And I think this is the kind of attitude we need to have, that it is an endless job that we must do in trying to ensure that we sustain the support for the school. I know that there's a lot that we're going to talk about today. I know that there are a lot of commitments that are going to be made. All I want to plead with all of you is to plead that please, you old girls of Queen School, it isn't just about you donating. It is about you connecting with people who can donate. Each and every one of you has become a fundraiser. You have become fundraisers. So don't think the pressure is on you to raise the money yourself, but the pressure is on you to ensure that you're connecting through your own connection, your network, the people you know, the friends you know, wherever they might be, anywhere in the world, to plead with them and ask them to please make a contribution to the project that you're pursuing now, and to so many other things that you have to do for Queen School. So having said that, I want to wish you all the very best in this project, and I want to wish you a good fundraising session. And don't forget, when you ask people for money, don't ask for just a one-time donation, because that is what tends to frighten people and get people a bit discouraged. Just ask for a little bit at a time, but keep coming back, and you'll be amazed at how much you can collect. So having said that, thank you very much. I appreciate you all, and God bless you. Thank you.
Please can we applaud the chairman more resoundingly? Thank you very much, Mr. Felicia Phillips. We appreciate you. And while he was giving his remarks, we had join us the retired Chief Judge of Ogun State. I'd like to recognize the presence of Justice Tokunbo Olopade. You're very welcome, my Lord. Also, we had join us the proprietor of Sweet Sensation, Sir and Mrs. Kende Kamson. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for being here. I must not forget, just as the president said earlier, that the launcher, Sir Kasinton Adebukola Adebutu, OON, will be ably represented, and his representative is here, Chief Aaron. You're very welcome. We thank you. Can we applaud the Chief Launcher, ably represented? At this point, we'll be going on to remarks, and the first one will be from the Honorable Minister of Health. I'm talking about Dr. Osage Ehanire. He is ably represented at this event this morning by the MD of the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba. Please can you welcome to the microphone Dr. Oluwayomi Obe for the Honorable Minister's remarks. Can we applaud the Honorable Minister, please?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Oluwayemi Ogun, and I'm the MD of Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba. I'm here representing the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, who sent me here with a speech. But before then, I'd like to stay on the existing protocol. I knew Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadevo as a practitioner and a senior sister to a colleague, Dr. Amma Adadevo then. Her death was a very great loss to this country, but we thank God for her life. She will continue to remain a heroine. And I will urge each and every one of us to contribute generously to what the old students of Queen's College, Queen's School, Ede Ibadan, plan to do for her. My teachers here, Dr. Mrs. Adamson and Dr. Femi Olugbile, thank you for teaching us well. So I go to my speech. The distinguished guests on the high table, the chairman, the guest speaker, the deputy state, and the representative of the governor of Lagos State, and the chief launcher. So I have my speech, the speech of the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Sage Ihanire, at the Association of Old Girls of Queen's School, Ede Ibadan, fundraising fund project to immortalize Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadebo. I wish to formally congratulate the national president and the entire executive members of the Association of the Old Girls of Queen's School, Ede Ibadan, for the great achievement of keeping the flag of your school flying, even after many years that you have left the school. I am glad to say that your association has been a major and important stakeholder in the drive to achieve high morals and academic transformation for your alma mater. It is important to say that your individual and collective efforts have brought the name of your school, Queen's School, to limelight. The current students and their parents, as well as the host community of the school, are proud of your achievements. I would like to join in the popular chorus, long live Queen's School, OGA, long live Queen's School, Up School. It is in the light of this that I wish to commend the initiative by the association to launch an appeal fund in the sum of 250 million naira for the construction of a multi-purpose building to immortalize the name of one of our members, Dr. Mrs. Ameyo Stella Adadebo. The initiative is heartwarming. It speaks volume of how members value and celebrate each other's achievements. It is a true show of love. Our society will be a better place when we show appreciation and others for their good deeds. Hate and envy promote nothing good but division, and no society can progress under such an atmosphere. The Holy Scripture says, how can a man say, I love God, who does not love his fellow human being? The nation at large is proud of Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadebo, for whom she was and what she stood for. She paid the ultimate price for the soul of this nation. She stood to contain the first index person with the Ebola virus in Nigeria. Without our intervention, Ebola virus would have spread like wildfire that would have consumed millions of Nigerians. She sacrificed her life to save others. Although she died on August 2014, she continues to live in our hearts as a heroine. She saved the nation from a healthcare catastrophe and forever etched her name in the annals of history as an embodiment of selflessness and sacrifice. The proposed project, a multi-purpose building in the honor of Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadevo, will no doubt help to immortalize her name in the hearts of the present and coming generation. The story of the great feat of Adadevo, when narrated, will evoke passion, devotion, and commitment to duty. It will evoke passion, hard work, selflessness, and sacrifice in the life of the girl child. This project, when fully completed, will also help in the infrastructural transformation of Queen's School. I wish to appeal to you all, therefore, to contribute generously to this project. It is far from being just a building. It is to build the next generation. It is to build the capital and human capacity of the future. A big thank you to the old students of Queen's School, Ede Ibadan, for putting this in place and for inviting me to this program. Together, we will build a better tomorrow for our children in Nigeria. Thank you for your rapt attention. Long live Queen's School, OGA, long live Queen's School, long live Nigeria. Thank you.
A round of applause for the representative of the Minister for Health, Dr. Mrs. Oluwayemi Silve. Thank you very much, ma'am. Please, may we as a body send a message to the minister that we are advocating that a national hospital be named after Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadevo. All the eyes, can I see your hands up? The eyes have it. Thank you, ma'am. Now we're going to call one of our own. Queen's School is a city, Palm House capital, casual arena full of ladies, baobab lazy folks. I'm sure at the end of today, when we are going to take a poll, Palm House is always on top. Upam! 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 We are winners. I'm going to invite the Deputy Governor of the Gateway State, Ogun State, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, a distinguished old girl of Palm House, to come and give a remark. You are welcome, oh. And madam, I'm sending you to Prince Dr. Abiodun. We want dollars. We want money from Ogun State. Big money. Thank you, ma'am.
The Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, here represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Folashade Jaji. The Honorable Minister, represented by the MD of the Oyab, Commissioner for the Honorable Commissioner, Dr. Folashade Adefisayo, the Honorable Commissioner for Health in Lagos State, Dr. Akin Abayomi, here represented by Dr. Babatunde Saka, the Chairman of the occasion and Chairman of Phillips Consulting, my Egbon and one of our very formidable advisors in Ogun State, Mr. Felicia Phillips. Chief Launcher, today, our father, Sir Kensington Adebukola Adebutu, here represented by our Oyefeso. Our royal fathers, here represented the national president of Queen's School Old Girls Association, the ever active, dynamic Dr. Tayo Adamson, all the family and friends of our Kodori of today, Dr. Ameyo Stella Dadevo, all old girls of Queen's School here, and all old boys of all other schools who have come to support us. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I bring you greetings from His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun, the Governor of Ogun State, and the good people of Ogun State. I'm honored to be here today as an alumna of Queen's School Ibadan, a proud member of the 7681 set. This year marks 40 years that my set graduated from Queen's School. It seems like a long time ago now. And when we look at the pictures then when we're that high, we thank God for his mercies that has brought us till today. I congratulate the president of the Alumni Association, Dr. Mummies, daddies, grandma. We have one meeting, please. Great, catching up on themselves and distracting us here. I congratulate the president on this worthy project that has been conceived by the Alumni Association to honor one of our own who has given her life, more or less, for this country. The people who were on ground at the time will understand the anxiety and the fear that was in all of us at the time when Ebola was rampaging further down on the West African coast. And the panic that consider bequeathment to the Old Girls Association and this project as an option for ourselves going forward. And of course, for people who have businesses, whatever can be written off against their taxes is also another opportunity for us to raise money. Finally, for people who don't fall into either category, we can set up a direct debit, even if it's 5,000 naira every month that you can afford, to go into the school account. Every drop counts. I believe Dr. Tony Phillips is here, who runs the endowment fund for UI. And I'll ask the Alumni Association to tap into her experience of that and see how they can persuade people and talk to people to buy into the idea. I think that will be another option for us to raise the funds. So once again, I will congratulate everybody for today's event. It's a bitter
very proud. Be it COVID-19. And when NSARS landed, it landed right in his domain. This man, I'd like to let you know, might not have been an old boy of GCI or even ISI for some instances, but one thing is certain, he believes in every good cause. And this particular one of remembering our own dear Ameyo Stella Adadevo is a cause that I'm very certain he has plugged into it. And that's why he has asked to represent him at this event. No other person than a woman that should know. Please could you welcome to the microphone the Secretary to the State Government of Lagos State, Mrs. Folashade Jaji. She is ably represented, Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Can we applaud her?
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The Deputy Governor of Ogun State, I think, has established a protocol. In order not to take too much of our time, I want to stand on the protocol that has been well established by the Deputy Governor of Ogun State. Let me first of all apologize on behalf of Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, who would have loved to be here because it's a good cause. Unfortunately, he's otherwise engaged in some other official assignments. That's why he asked me to represent him at this August occasion. Let me also say that I am an old girl of Queen's College. Yaba, that's the senior sister to Queen's School. So Mr. Governor could not have chosen, a better person to come and represent him at this event. I want to say that I want to commend the old girls Queen's School for this laudable event. As the chairman of the occasion rightly pointed out, it's not easy, as well as the deputy governor, it's not easy raising funds, we all know. But I want to believe, and I pray that because it's for a good cause, that amount will be realized in due course. Maybe not at this event, but in due course. Let me now read the goodwill message from Mr. Governor. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. I'm delighted to join this distinguished audience to be part of today's occasion of official launch of a multipurpose building in honor of Ebola heroine, Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadevoh. I appreciate the executive and members of Queen's School, Ede and Ibadan, old girls, for the thoughtful idea, which I have a firm belief is in tandem with the association's vision of supporting education in the spirit of corporate social responsibility. It is noteworthy that the multipurpose building is designed to honor and inspire people whose lives and activities demonstrate an enduring commitment to qualities associated with good character, integrity, credibility, and transparent life. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadevoh was an alumnus of Queen's School, Ede Ibadan, the lead consultant, physician, and endocrinologist at First Consultant Hospital in Lagos, Nigeria, where she worked for 21 years. She had never seen Ebola before, but was able to diagnose and contain Nigeria's first Ebola patients. I think was Patrick Sawyer in July 2014, when he came in from Liberia. Despite the pressure from the Liberian government to release him, in her wisdom, she did not succumb to that pressure. The sacrifice that she made prevented a national or possibly global catastrophe. She has been honored with various posthumous awards, including the International Medical Corps, United Kingdom, Nigerian American Medical Foundation, and Women in Management, Business, and Public Service. Such an uncommon icon deserves, no doubt, to be immortalized. I wish to commend Queen's School Old Girls Association to have put in place plans to immortalize her name, by erecting a multipurpose edifice in her alma mater at Queen's School Ibadan. I therefore charge individuals and corporate organizations to be part of this laudable project. No doubt, the building, when completed, will create an enabling environment that will help secure our children's dignity and safety, whilst also ensuring a conducive atmosphere for teaching and learning. Let me once again congratulate the leadership and the entire members of the Old Girls Association on today's occasion and for remaining true to the ideals of your association. I wish you many more years of success as you continue to contribute to the development and growth of education in the nation. I want to believe that the entire, family members of our dear sister, late sister, Dr. Amayo is here. Although they mourn her loss, I believe they must be proud of the legacy she left behind. Once again, I thank you all for being here today. God bless you all. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àjùmọ̀ṣe ni o.
A round of applause for the SSG. Thank you so much. And if I may chip in, Queen's College is not senior to Queen's School. Queen's College was established and it was a day school. Those who chose to go to boarding went to Ede. When we came to Ibadan, the cutlery we used in the dining hall had on it Queen's College Lagos. So Queen's College Lagos, Queen's School Ede Ibadan are one inseparable entity. Queen's School is a city, Palmer's capital, Casuarina full of ladies, Baobab lazy folks. I'm sorry, the Honorable Commissioner she was in Baobab House. So for her, I will change the song. Queen's School is a city, Baobab capital, for Mrs. Adefisayo Neo. Palmer's full of ladies. The president is from Casuarina, Modaro. Queen's School is a city, Casuarina capital, Palmer's full of ladies, Baobab full of ladies, none of them, maybe Almond, lazy folks. They are the babies. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our distinguished guests. We have in our midst the family of the lady we are celebrating today, the Adadevo family. Dr. Amayo Stella Adadevo, there's a foundation that was established in our honor. And I'm sure members of our family are here represented. Do we have anybody from the family wanting to share a few words as we celebrate this icon? Dr. Amayo Adadevo, brilliant, beautiful, eloquent, everything you could look for in a woman represented in her. Thank you so much. You would introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I would like to stand on all existing protocol. My name is Niniola Williams, and I'm the Managing Director of DRASA Health Trust. DRASA stands for Dr. Amayo Stella Adadevo, DRASA. I'm also the niece of Dr. Adadevo. My mother, Ama Adadevo, also went to Queen's School, and several other members of our family are old girls. So we are very happy to be here today. I'd like to start by thanking all of you for this great honor. It means a lot to us that you are honoring Auntie Ameyo in this way. We're very happy and proud to be here as part of the Queen's School family. DRASA, again, the health trust that we established in her memory. It was a year and 2 months after we lost Auntie Ameyo that we as a family, along with a board of directors and a renowned board of advisors, started the Health Trust. It's an NGO. And our determination was that how can we do something tangible that would touch as many lives as possible? Because at the end of the day, we wanted her legacy to continue, just like the same reason why we are all here in this hall today. And so far, we've been able to do that. Our impact to date has cut across this nation. We have reached various communities, LGAs, schools, hospitals. So far, we've reached 25,172 students, 2,049 teachers, 3,693 health professionals, and this was all done in 30 states across the country. Now, interestingly, we actually started in the education sector, in schools. We started with health education in schools, and the reason was because we saw there was a gap. So right here in Lagos State, where we are based, greetings to our Honorable Commissioner for Education, Ma, we partnered with Lagos State to establish health and hygiene clubs in secondary schools around the state so that we could embed the concept of being healthy in our children. We called it catching them while they're young. So we've always been an advocate for supporting education of youth, especially girls. Our second program, which we started in 2017, was to train health workers. We wanted to be able to have more people who could do what Auntie Ameyo did. How can we train a doctor, a nurse, to identify an infectious disease and stop it from spreading? How could we do that in a way that they can still protect themselves and not have to sacrifice their lives the way she did? And so to date, we've trained different types of health professionals, not just doctors and nurses, but even the hospital cleaners, even the people who are driving ambulances, everyone that has a role to play in the health sector. And over the years, we kept expanding our programs, building relationships, state government, federal government, communities, other NGOs. And because of the work that we did, we began being invited to work with other state governments, NCDC, Africa CDC, other partners across the continent. And we've done a lot of things, but I want to give a few examples. In 2018, we were called to come to Ebonyi State. Now, there was a Lassa fever outbreak in Ebonyi State. And in a particular hospital in Ebonyi State, they had lost 3 of their staff, 1 doctor and 2 nurses, who died on the job, similar to what happened to Auntie Ameyo. So they called us to come because they were in a panic. They had no confidence, they didn't know what to do, they were afraid. But they had a lot of sick patients that needed to be attended to. So we were able to go there and we were able to train them, equip them, and teach them how to treat these very sick patients without getting infected themselves. And then, of course, there was COVID last year. But even before the very first patient that came to Nigeria with COVID, we were already working with Lagos State government. Thank you to Lagos State government and the Ministry of Health for the opportunity to serve. We started in Yaba Infectious Disease Hospital in January last year, before COVID started, because we knew it would come. And from there, we went to Luth. We got them ready as well. And by February, the first patient was here. We were invited to be part of the Lagos State response team, and we worked side by side with ministry and other partners to respond to the pandemic. We were right there with the Commissioner of Health. In fact, the first patient was admitted, and then when he was discharged and sent back to Italy. And from our work here in Lagos State last year, we were able to expand to support four other states in their COVID response as well. We supported Borno, Enugu, Rivers, and Kano states. I'm sure everybody in this room was affected one way or another by the COVID-19 pandemic. Many of us would have known someone that had it. Some of us may have lost loved ones. Some of us may have had it ourselves, or some of us may have just been involved in going for testing and other activities around it. But this puts into perspective what Auntie Ameyo did. Now we understand the damage that infectious diseases can do. Now we understand what could have happened in 2014, if not for what she stopped. And Ebola is far, far deadlier than COVID-19. So JASA was involved throughout last year, training staff working in the isolation centers and hospitals, setting up isolation centers, supporting the setup of quarantine spaces for travelers coming in. And we worked in all kinds of facilities, from some of the private hospitals that treated some of the high-profile patients all the way down to secondary and general hospitals across Lagos State and others. We trained the staff who are working in the labs that are doing tests even till today. We trained those who are driving the ambulances. We trained those who are disposing of the waste coming out of the isolation centers, because everybody needed to know how to do that job in a safe way. And we were there to help them. And we're still involved. We're still working with the government. In fact, in the middle of the pandemic, we developed Nigeria's first ever public health emergency plan for the largest seaports we have, Apapa Seaport here in Lagos. Those of us that know Apapa, we probably know it because of the traffic. That's what it's most notorious for. But apart from that, it's a very complex place. It's where all the goods, most of the goods we use in Nigeria come into the country. And yet it was a place that had no emergency plan for anything that could happen. From a vessel collision to a chemical spill to an infectious disease outbreak, there was no plan of what to do if something came in through Apapa. So last year we addressed that. And because of that work that we did in Apapa, we're now scaling that program. And we're doing the same thing, looking at how do we tackle health emergencies at 10 of our other points of entry in Nigeria. 2 airports, 4 land borders, and 2 other seaports. Because we know that those are all potential entry points for the next infectious disease. Our next big project is to establish a health academy here in Lagos, which we will name after Auntie Ameyo. And that academy will serve her colleagues, people who work in the health sector. How do we equip them and provide education for them to be safe in the job that they do every day? We don't want more of our health workers to sacrifice their lives in the line of duty. Through the academy, we will also serve the general public. We will produce content and health educational information that will help people know, how do I stay healthy and safe in my everyday life? So we've been doing all this work over the last 5 years because we're trying to embody her spirit. We're trying to sustain what she stood for. There's so much to do in the health sector and in the education sector, but we're determined to keep going because this is why we exist. We want her legacy to be felt. We want her impact to continue. We don't want her death to be in vain. And most of all, we want to have a tangible impact on the lives of Nigerians across the country. So I'd like to end by saying thank you again to all of you for being here. While we've been doing this work, it's always so encouraging for us to see others who are coming behind what she did, behind the legacy she stood for, and trying to support it and continue it. So we thank you all for this opportunity. And I'd just like to say that the work we have done to date is simply and purely based on the financial support of donors, both individuals and corporate organizations that have supported what we do because they believe in it and they can see our impact to date. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Ameyo Adadevo's classmates are here. One of them is here on the podium, our guest speaker. Anyone here in the auditorium? Any of our classmates here? Okay. Agogo motor hopsing. Agogo motor hopsing. Driver ye motor hopsing ye. Driver ye motor hopsing. Kuluwa, kuluwa, kuluwa. Titina, titina. Titina, titina. Oh yeah. Somebody they titina motor tourist. Somebody wants you. Somebody wants you.
Somebody, somebody.
Beautiful.
Beautiful girl.
You shall never be disappointed. Mo ti gbọ́rọ̀ kan, wọ́n lérí, wọ́n láwọn yóò gbọ́kọ̀ wá. Mo ti gbọ́rọ̀ kan, wọ́n lérí, wọ́n láwọn yóò gbọ́kọ̀ wá. Kò lè ṣeé ṣe láyé yìí o. Kò sọ́mọ náà tí ó jọṣẹ́.
Mo ti gbọ́rọ̀ kan. Ohun ẹ ti lò.
Queen School. Your Excellency, gbogbo ẹ̀ náà kọ́ wa. Ìyá Thompson and Ìyá Ige, the Yoruba excellent. Mrs. Odeinde, English fantastic. President, Mrs. Lawore Yemlawi. Tẹ́mi Ògúnwò, your auntie, Yemlawi. Baba Boswe. I love to see Daddy Boswe. Always sitting by my side. Oh, Daddy Boswe. I'll never let you go. Daddy Boswe was the school driver. Oh, what a wonderful afternoon celebrating one of our own. All this entertainment I'm giving you is because of pounds, dollars, and naira. Kosofe. I'm from Koshofe local government area of Lagos State. So all of our special guests, I know your check is heavy. But right here in the auditorium, I think it was in the speech of one of our speakers earlier, that said that the old girls should stand. I want to let you know that the old girls of Queen School, they are women of timber, caliber, and caterpillar. What is a gudu meje ya mefa? Under the able leadership of the President, Dr. Adamson, each set of Queen School has donated ₦1 million each. ₦1 million, some even donated more. So that our special guests and our guests will know that anything short of million, fair. I'm coming to one table. There are special people on that table. Sister me, Dr. Kofo Dushote, and Justice Usu. I know my auntie, Dr. Phillips, but Uncle Olumide, you have to support your wife. Sir Knight, you have to support Sadebola. We are expecting fat checks from you. We have some old girls that have done exceedingly, abundantly, and above. Lady Medinibru, we salute you. Thank you so much. Mrs. Fumi Ajayi, we salute you. Our former president who wore 2 caps, Mrs. Ronke Fetuga, she wore 2 caps as a national and state president. I want to know what and our 2-time minister, Chief Mrs. Onikeko Akode, CON, she's done exceedingly well. We have one of ours, the chairman of Punch newspapers, Angela Emowa, Nia Broderi. So many more, Mrs. Inugwe. And even the chapters, all the state chapters, they brought in serious money. And trust, ma'am, can you imagine? Can you just take a guess who gave the biggest donation in all of the chapters? Èkó for show. Sísá Gbémi, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Owó tabua l'Èkó gbé jáde. So Lagos State government, we are looking up to you as because without Lagos, kò sí Nigeria. So check ló máa heavy jù. My state too, Ogun State. Ibi owó ti so, plenty money. Ààrẹ, ẹ kú ìjókòó sir. I know you have come with plenty money. Látọ̀dọ̀ Bàbá Ìjẹ̀bú. We are expecting you. Ní disappoint wa. Thank you very much. A mọ̀ pé kò lọ́lọ́run wà, Èkó lówó wà. Abuja lówó wà, ẹ má tọrọ yín jẹ. Èkó ilé iṣẹ́, Abuja ilé owó. Ṣùgbọ́n Èkó ló borí gbogbo wọn. Èkó ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó ń ná l'Abuja. I'm not going to waste your time since we don't have the classmates of Ameyo here. I'm quickly going to call the guest speaker. You are here? Where are they? The classmates of Ameyo. Anyway, we don't want to waste your time. We're quickly going to the lecture. The guest speaker, our lecturer this afternoon, is no doubt an old girl. Mrs. Folashade Ifaturoti Adefisayo, the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Lagos State, Baobab House. 6973 said, an academician and a teacher by excellence, Folashade is passionate about education and determined to make a difference in Lagos State. Before her appointment as the Education Commissioner, she was the principal consultant and CEO of Leading Learning Limited, an educational consultancy incorporated in 2014. Folashade has nearly 40 years working experience, spanning banking operations, organizational restructuring, human resources, management, international trade, and education. She retired from Corona School Trust Council in the year 2010 after serving as executive director and CEO for 8 years, and served voluntarily as the director of Corona School, Agbara, Corona Secondary School, Agbara, from 2010 to 2014. Folashade Adefisayo ni Ifaturoti is a merit award winner of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and a university scholar of the University of Ibadan. Her CV is quite intimidating, so I don't want to read it all out to you. But without any shadow of a doubt, she's worthy of the appointment in Lagos State, and the job she's going to handle right now, she's the right fit. A round of applause for Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, the Commissioner for Education, Lagos State.
Sorry, I have a mic. I'm mic'd up. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, the high table. All protocols observed, like we say in government, something I had to learn. I didn't know I didn't know about protocol till I got into government, but now I know. So all protocols observed, but I still think I would like to mention one or two names. I would like to thank the governor of Lagos State, represented by Mrs. Jaji. Mrs. Jaji, thank you very much, ma. The governor has promised, because I told him I'm an old girl and we are many in government in Lagos State. There are two of us in cabinet. There's Mrs. Lola Akondeni Kushebiala, Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, and myself. And between us, I think we will make you proud of us. So I won't say more than that. So thank you for representing the governor, ma. The Deputy Governor of Ogun State, very proud of you. I didn't know you were an old girl, but I should have known. You always know a Queen School old girl. Yeah, thank you. Mr. Phillips, thank you. Representative of Dr. Ehanire, his sister was in Queen School. I think Florence Ehanire was in Queen School as well. Representative of Ababa, thank you very much, sir. And I must say there's a special greeting for the president of Queen's School Old Girls. I never met her till today. I'm sure I've spoken to her at least 100 times. All sorts of conversations. So much strength, so much passion. I think all of us old girls should please stand up for 1 minute and give this woman a rousing ovation. Dr. Taiwo Adamson. Yes. A great old girl. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I do have a presentation. Please sit down. Thank you very much. And I've been debating, should I present or should I talk? It's been a struggle for every speaker. If you watch all our speakers, it's been quite a struggle. Because, you know, it's old girls. You haven't seen some people in years. You have to go and see them. So the room was a bit difficult for the speakers. So I said, maybe I should just come in here and fumble and wumble my way and then go and sit down. But I know you are worth much more than me fumbling my way. And so I'll try and give a presentation. But before I go on, I'm going to sing a version of my own song. Queen's School is a city, Baobab capital. Arena full of ladies, farmhouse lazy folk. Baobab! 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 Yes! I had to say that. Thank you very much. Benima. It's undisputed, an undisputed fact. Thank you very much. Thank you. So in introducing myself, I think I should let you know that I'm a thorough Queen's School old girl. My mother, incidentally, Queen's College old girl, but my mother became principal of Queen's School at a point, Mrs. Ifatu Roti. She was maths teacher in the late 50s, early 60s, Benima. And I was a little girl in Queen's School, Ede. So though I went to Queen's School Ibadan, I went to Queen's School Ede as well, because I lived there. My mother sent all her daughters to Queen's School, all her sons to Government College. So we are Queen's School, we are a Queen's School family, and it's great to be here. So now when I was asked to talk about this, to talk about Ameyo, interestingly, Ameyo was not just my classmate in Queen's School. We entered Queen's School January 1969. I still have the list. You know, in those days, we did common entrance. The list came out in Daily Times. There was no long leg. The list came out in Daily Times. And the number one on the list was Bola Dale Tewi. But I think a very close second was Ameyo Stella Adadevo. I will not tell you my own position, but I think I can only say it was respectable. And so we came in together in 1969. But even before then, Ameyo and I attended primary school together. She was my classmate at Corona School, Yaba, in the military hospital compound. That was where we both started primary school, and then we went on to the same secondary school. Interestingly, we never saw each other again after Queen's School. I don't think I saw her again, because we went our separate ways. And you know, we women, but yeah, we started coming together for classmates meeting, and she attended one or two. So I did see her. Yeah, I did see her. So when I was asked to talk about this, I said, what am I going to say? What should I say? Should I be serious? Should I be light-hearted? What should I say? But her sacrifice was so serious that I think I should be serious. And so I'll call for the next slide and the slide after. The next slide, I was going to show a lot of photographs of our class and our progression from Form 1 to Form 5 when we did school start. So please, yeah. So when I sat there, I said, Ameyo, I've known her, I knew her in her formative years. I knew her well. And of course, I knew her by reputation in her mature years. So let me ask, what were the legacies? What are the influences? And I'm sorry, it's a particularly difficult slide. But what were the legacies? What were the influence upon this lady? First of all, let me start with family. We all know who she was. She was the daughter of Professor Kwaku Adadevo, who was one of the youngest to ever become a professor of medicine in Nigeria. He was VC of Unilag. And so she had, what can I call it? There was that brain power that she was born with. And Ameyo, my set was very proud of the fact that nobody came first twice from 1 till we finished in Form 5. But Ameyo came first twice, I think. Am I right? I think she came first twice. She was one of only 2 or so because we never liked it. I never came first. So don't think I'm trying to say I competed with. I wasn't in that wonderful area until we did school cert, I think. So she came first twice. So there was the brain power. So the legacy from her family, the wonderful brain power, the antecedents, the great-granddaughter of Herbert Macaulay. Now, we all know who Herbert Macaulay was in the history of Nigeria. So again, Adadevo's family legacy went beyond just being clever in school, being able to pass exams, but also somebody who fought for the freedom of this country. And when you have such blood running through your genes, you cannot just be a normal person. And of course, as you saw from the beautiful young lady who came out, Ameyo's family was possessed with more than their fair share of physical beauty. We all saw that. So Ameyo's legacy from home was tremendous. And of course, there was upbringing, there was culture. Ameyo was the niece of Mrs. Ajayi. Who did Mrs. Ajayi teach maths in this room? Mrs. Ajayi taught maths. She was a remarkable maths teacher. She used to come into the classroom through the window, not the door. She didn't have the patience to go around to the door. So I think the windows were broken near somebody's window, and Mrs. Ajayi just stepped in. So again, Ameyo had this in her genes. That is somebody who was not traditional, somebody who was different, somebody who made her own pathway in life. So these are some of the legacies that influenced Ameyo. What other influence? Oh, the schools she attended. In those days, we all attended these schools. We are singing these songs. You know, I went to talk at an old boys event in a school in Oshogbo. And the old boys were all gung-ho. They had just donated the 100 million naira block. They were singing all sorts of songs like we were. They were doing all sorts of things. They had all sorts of slogans. But the present students didn't even know those songs. So I turned to them and said, well, in a few years, you'll be gone. And your school will also be gone. Because the memory of your school is going very fast. And that is happening to us in Queen's School, whether we like it or not. And so I like what we are doing to get it. We should get more and more involved. Because the culture and traditions of Queen's School are such that you never forget. Long after leaving Queen's School, there are still some funny things I do. I always put my cutlery together when I finish eating. You know, in the dining hall. And with all due respect to the men here, I still cannot keep my nails because I always wash my undies in the morning. And that's one thing we always did in Queen's School, isn't it? When you wake up, you wash this, you do this. There were just some things that you just did. There was normal politeness. You greeted everybody. Good morning, ma. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sister, so and so. Good morning, you know. And of course, that sisterly relationship. I love calling my senior sister because it's like I'm their sister. So all these cultures, all these things that we were taught, all these norms and values, we knew what was right and what was wrong. And yet, when Queen's School, I remember Mama Lawore, whenever she was reading school search results, oh, Mama Lawore was something else. You know how she would read it. Lagbaja, Ashako Boyibu, you know, it was always fun to listen to her. No Queen's School old girl would say, "What for me 9 in maths? You scored 9. You sent to for anything." That's what you studied for, and that's what you got. No Queen's School old girl, no Queen's School girl that I know in those times would behave in a way that would disgrace the school outside. I remember many years later, I saw a Queen's School old girl in the market. Her hair was a mess. Her blouse was out. Oh Lord, I just went to, I said, tuck in. You know how you tuck in your blouse and you starch blouse. You blued your blouse. The blouse was sparkling white, and your skirt stood straight like this. These are all things that they taught us. We have no choice but to pass it on to the next generation. We are losing all this. I hope we all know that. If you go to Queen's School, you know, I took my daughters to Queen's School and I talked so much about Queen's School. We drove through Queen's School, Ibadan. When we left, my daughter said, I strongly suggest that you should not, she was picking her words carefully, that you should not boast too much about this place. Oh boy, was I embarrassed. And I was embarrassed. So I'm very grateful to all the old girls for all the things that we are doing. And the Queen's School influence stayed with Ameyo as well. And of course, from there, she went on to University of Lagos. And of course, I mustn't, so these were the influences upon her. So there was school, there was home. Can I have the slide, please? There was her profession. As a doctor, of course, you know, the Hippocratic oath, the oath to, and you know, when you see doctors who are good, they are empathetic, they are kind, they are loving, they want to help you, they want you to be cured of your illness. I'm talking about good doctors. And Ameyo was a good doctor. So the empathy, compassion, love, sacrifice, giving, she was all these and more. So these were the influences upon this enigma. Please go back. Go back. I'm not done. There's a fourth quadrant. And of course, there was the society. The society in which we grew up. The society where we knew who was who, we knew who we were, we knew how to behave, we knew where to go, we knew what decent women did and what decent women did not do. And so all these influences upon a human being would, of course, turn her into the enigma that she became. Can I have the next slide? I will ask us some questions and I want us to really think. So on that fateful day, that index case walked into her hospital where she had been working for 21 years. Think about it, stability. You know, I went somewhere and the woman said, oh, I worked somewhere for 20 or 30 years. The young people in the room were distressed. They said, that's a problem. Why? What were you doing there? So stability was something not to be cherished, but this was stability. She had worked there for 21 years. And this man came in. According to the BBC, and I read this up, Nigeria had, of course, never had an Ebola case. It was the index case. And this was how they described it, an impressive piece of diagnostic work. An impressive piece of diagnostic work. But what do we expect from Ameyo Adadevoh? The only girl who came first twice in our set in Queen's School. And our set in Queen's School, with all due respect to other sets, was quite a set. Where, of course, all who had grade 1 were more than grade 2 and very few in grade 3. Well, I think we have more than 24, 25 doctors in our set. And right now we have a number of professors. In that set, this girl came second in the entrance exam. I still have the paper, 1968, November or December, where the results came out. Of course, what do you expect from her? So globally, she was recognized for the impressive piece of diagnostic work that this remarkable girl did. And don't forget that whilst caring for this man, she put herself at great risk. Courage, courage. Ameyo was courageous. If you knew her, I mean, the photographs show, I don't need to say, Ameyo wasn't tall. I won't say more than that. She was not a tall member of our set at all. But she was a powerful member. What she did not have in terms of height, she had in terms of sheer strength of character and sheer courage. And, you know, she put herself at great risk. She did not want to die, I know. She loved life too much for that. But it came upon her, and she stared death in the face with the courage of a lion. Next slide. Please, what would have happened? You remember, I said courage of a lion. She was harassed by this man. He said he had to go. She was harassed by the embassy of Liberia. They said she should discharge this man. He had to go. She said no, she stood her ground. What would have happened if Ameyo had released this man? If she had done what a typical person would have done and said, well, it's the embassy. What can I do? What can I say? Okay, you can go. What? Please, child, you know, it's only now that we can understand in terms of COVID. Before, when we didn't have COVID, it was like, We didn't know. But now we can see how a single person came into Nigeria one day. And within how many weeks or months? In fact, when we were first talking about it at tech school, I remember I was saying, this thing hasn't come. Why are we bothering ourselves? It may not come. And one man came in and the whole system upended. What if Ameyo had succumbed to pressure? So that's why I said she stood with courage like a lion. And I'm just bringing out her attributes one by one here because I'm going somewhere. Next slide. Lest we have forgotten, because we have forgotten many things. Because of this sacrifice, millions of lives are saved. Ebola, like we said, was infinitely more, what was the word used by our young doctor? More deadly than COVID. And because of her, Nigeria was able to put preparations in high gear for COVID. I thank her because if it hadn't been for that sacrifice, for what she did, we would not have taken things so seriously in Nigeria like we did this time. And because of her, fatality and infectious rates were much lower. We know that many more people would have died. She helped us start to think about institutionalizing the management of pandemics, and the country, of course, was better prepared for COVID because of a singular human being. And what I always tell people is there's nothing much you can do. You can only do your little bit in the little corner that God has given you. But she did her bit, didn't she? And what a wonderful bit that was. So you see, and what I want to bring out of this is the power of one. The incredible power that one person can have. And that is, and I'm coming to all of us here, that this is Ameyo. We are celebrating her today. We have to start to think about ourselves. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. I'm fine. I don't want us to forget this, that she hasn't been given sufficient national recognition. Many of us are upset. Oh, there's a street in Abuja named after her. There's this. But we want much more. She deserves much more. But I personally, as a human being, I'm not unhappy that she's not been recognized. Because many people were not recognized when they did whatever it was they did. It was only later that people started to see that this great human being passed through this world. And therefore, I'm not unhappy. What we are doing today is appropriate, it is good, it is generous. We must give and we must support her because we must support the building of that building or the building of the assembly hall in Queen's School. But it's not because of Ameyo that we should do that. She's gone, she's done her bit. But we have a lot to do. No matter what our age is, there's still that thing called the incredible power of one person. The incredible power of one person to make a difference. Can I have the next slide? Because I asked this question because I actually went to read the speech, the Gettysburg Address, given by Abraham Lincoln after the very terrible Gettysburg War. And he said this, and I want us to note that it doesn't matter what we do for Ameyo to do, whether we donate or not. Whatever we say here, the world will little note, no longer remember what we say here. But it can, and I'll paraphrase it, I'll change it. But it will never forget what she did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which she fought for here. It is rather for us to be dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from our honored dead, we take increased devotion to the cause for which she gave the last full measure of devotion. That this, our honored dead, our honored sister, our honored auntie, our honored professional colleague, our honored classmate, our honored friend, our honored mother, wife, shall not have died in vain. And I will leave the rest for us to think about, because I think that we should not allow her to die in vain. We need to bring to the fore all the influences upon all of us here. We have been very lucky. All the influences upon all of us here are the same that Ameyo had. We had We had backgrounds. We came from homes where our parents were simple people in those days. Simple people who made sure that we were well brought up. We went to schools where we were taught the right things. We did jobs where we rose to the top of our professions. But the country is the worse off. And we cannot blame this generation. I always ask people, our parents brought us up strictly. Why are we not able to influence the next generation? We have not influenced the next generation sufficiently. No matter how young or old we are in this room, we still have a lot of work to do. The next generation is growing up largely unaware of what is right from what is wrong. We poor role models. We poor role models. If you talk to them about somebody like this, they are not interested. If you go to corporate organizations and tell them we are doing this, they will be like, who's going to be there? As if those of us here are not worthy human beings. So I think all of us owe a mayor and ourselves and our own individual legacies influence upon the next generation. I think I have one more slide. Please go on. Yes, this is what I wanted to say. We who went to schools like Queen's School can make a difference. We owe it to society and to generations unborn. We were surrounded by adults who well and guided us and supported us accordingly. I know the kind of home I came from. I know what my parents did to bring me up. I know the lessons they instilled. Till today, my mother is alive. She's 90. There are some things I cannot do. I will hear her voice. Shade Omoluabi Okishebenye. I will hear her voice. I will hear my father's voice. Why can't this generation hear our voice? How are we bringing? We brought them up, so don't let us be saying they are not good. We were brought up to live decent, honest lives. We knew right from wrong. We knew the consequences of our actions and faced them if need be. We can make a difference in the corner that God has put us. We can have a focus and a vision for ourselves. We can have a mission to change the world. And I hope that, like I said, no matter, I think that's the last slide. Let me see if there's another slide. Leave it off. I'll say thank you verbally. So I think it's in our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, should I be serious? Should I be light? But Ameyo gave so much, and we can see her character. It's in all of us here. What she did was remarkable. And maybe none of us can make such a sacrifice. But all of us have it in us to change wherever we are, whatever we are, whatever we are doing, to influence the next generation. Ladies, Queen's School old girls, we must leave Nigeria better than we found it. Thank you very much.
A resounding applause for the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Lagos State, Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, a distinguished old girl. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, you know she's a teacher, right? Well said. Well said. Well said. Thank you so much. The onus is on us as old girls, as parents, grandmothers, to nurture the next generation to be the best. Enough of Yahoo, Yahoo, Yahoo Plus. Enough of ritual killings. Enough of terrorism. Enough of banditry. Whatever name you want to call it. Yoruba people say, Onti Oda Oda. There is no other name for it. May the Lord help us. Amen. Thank you so much, my sister. Very much proud of you. In Queen's School, the shame day is the last assembly. Anybody that has offended will climb the podium to be shamed. Mrs. Lawore, that fantastic principal who spoke her English with a tinge of Ijebu, will say, so and so, come up this stage. You come up this stage. On my right, we have the thief, and on the left is the forger. And the 12 said, The two of them said we should pray for them. They were tempted by the devil. So if you went on top of that stage in Queen's School, you are done for. And that is why we turned out the way we did. Accomplished ladies, queens in every sphere of industry. May the Lord help the next generation. We will do our best. And that is why we are here, to be able to do better. Just like Ameyo said, she refused to release soya. She said, for the greater good, you ain't going nowhere. We must know what is wrong with you. This is not malaria. Thank God for that. Bold, beautiful, brilliant Ameyo. Now we are where we have been going since. So everything we've been doing before is going round out, like the Ibadan people will say. We want money. Owó ni kẹ̀kẹ́ ìyìnrere. Immortalize and to be able to build this edifice in her name, we need money. And our chief launcher today is no other than a business mogul, Sir Kensington Adebukola Adebutu, Knight of John Wesley, Odole Oòduà of Ile-Ife, C-O-O-N, popularly called Owó Bàbá Ìjẹ̀bú. Yapada, enter pool, ẹ jẹ́ kí bàbá ta o. I'm sure your drivers know Baba Ìjẹ̀bú more than you. He is the founder of Premier Lotto, a gaming and betting mega franchise incorporated in 2001, which was formerly called Face to Face $1 Million Pools Limited, with his famous friend, Ayoku. Tell the president, I told her already. Alongside his betting business, Sir Kensington is a serious player in the construction, engineering, and building industry. He sits as the chairman of Abico PLC. Sir Adebutu, even though a socialite, is also a well-known philanthropist. His KAF Foundation established a medical laboratory and maternity center, and he has supported so many initiatives in the community. He's a kind of Nigerian that we call Olowo to Fowó Ṣàánú. Unfortunately, Baba is not here today, but he's ably represented by Ààrẹ Dr. Kola Oyefeso Balogun of Oderemo, a terrestrial engineer, an industrialist, founder and CEO of Kotko Energy Limited, Oderemo, chairman of Matna Cassava Food Processing Limited, Ogbese, Ondo State, and oil and gas magnets. When you hear oil and gas, you know that is money na popopo. And the chairman of Lagos Country Club, Ààrẹ Gbogbogbò of Remo Land. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sà, owó yìí ó láti shout. Please, a round of applause for the representative of our chief launcher, Ààrẹ Kola Oyefeso. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sà, mo fẹ́ sọ nǹkan kan, ẹ má bínú. We are expecting money from Baba Ìjẹ̀bú. We want money from you. And by extension, all of your friends, àwọn bí Aṣíwájú Jagaban Bogu, Aṣíwájú our boys, gbogbo wọn ni o, because this fundraising is ongoing. It's not limited to today, sir. Ẹ ṣé sir, a dúpẹ́ sir, ẹ ṣé sir.
Thank you.
We want a good photograph before our special guests depart, and we'll go to the chief, the launching.
Thank you very much, photographers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. At this point in time, the representative or the chief launcher, RA, Chief RA. Thank you very much. Please, can we settle down so that the chief launcher will go ahead and launch the building. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am. Please, can we settle down now as I re-invite the representative of the chief launch in person of Dr. Kola Oyefeso. Can we applaud him, please? Don't forget that his check is going to break the scale. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. My task is very simple, but first I must do the normal recognition. While I got trained, we only recognize chairman, ladies and gentlemen, but in Nigeria, you have to read loud and read loud and read loud to spend the next 10, 20 minutes. So please, permit me to just recognize the chairman of the occasion, my very good friend, and of course, the president of the Queen's College Old Guest Association. Sir Kasinta Adebutu was supposed to be here. But at nearer 90 than 80, he's going to take his time. So he sends his apologies, but notwithstanding, he fully supports this laudable cause. I've had to rewrite my speech because I won't like repeating what has been said eloquently about the lady we are here gathered. So let me just quickly read the drafted speech. This is being said on behalf of Sir Kasinta Adebutu. He says, it gives me a great delight to be part of this important ceremony where we are gathered to immortalize a lady of selfless service to Nigeria and indeed humanity. We always recall with nostalgia, but with loving tribute to the memory of late Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadevo. What he did to save mankind, we have heard that repeatedly, so don't let him bother you about that. Notwithstanding, it is the impression of Sir Adebutu that that kind of remarkable sacrifice made by late Dr. Ameyo Stella Adadevo was very uncommon as well, nolli secundus. Therefore, anything we can do to make our name a living memory is something that should be embraced by all well-meaning Nigerians, home and abroad. Indeed, every living Nigerian support this noble cause because Dr. Adadevo actually saves all of us from the Ebola epidemic. On this call, I wish to commend the old guests of the Queen's College, Ede and Ibadan, for this initiative of deeming this project as a befitting honor to our departed lady, sister, and mother. I want to particularly commend Dr. Taiwo Adamson, the president of the Queen's College Old Guests Association, for our persistency to drag me here. Thank you, madam. It is indeed a great honor to be called upon to be part of any launching for that matter. And as late MKO once said, his father who taught 4 men for men, used to say, Akpale 4 man, he said his father taught 4 men for men. But he broke it down by saying that to be invited to donate by an august body of this nature is indeed a great honor. Why? He said those Queen's College that have turned out will have been thousands. And if they had levied themselves just 100,000 each, they will raise more than 250 million. But for him to be invited to be part of this is a great honor. Ladies and gentlemen, the guest speaker has spoken, and my task is to speak. It's not to speak, but to launch this project. May I therefore, at this juncture, use my discretion. When I was coming here, I was given a discussion for the lowest and the apex. And both, he said, should be taken as a first installment. The lowest is 5 million naira. But he gave me an apex. And having listened to various speakers, I'm indeed moved to go for the apex. And that apex is a sum of 20 million naira. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And to add to that, as I said, that a professor, he said, if it meets your expectations, take it in good faith. If it doesn't, take it as the first installment. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Our Dr. Efesa, please, before you go, you have just launched on behalf of our father, Baba Jebu. So we are still expecting your own donation. Do I have your permission to invite him back to the microphone? Sir, your own donation.
Dr. Adamson is a sister. I don't like disgracing myself. If somebody has donated 20 million, I want to just bring it down. I will definitely donate. You can rest assured. Thank you.
Please come forward, our Dr. Kala Oyefeso. Thank you so much, sir. And I can see KBS's representatives. Please, before you leave, I think you should please do that of KBS's Royal Majesty. Okay, you have already. Thank you very much. Can we all say KBS? Very much. Thank you. At this point in time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, moving on with the launch of this edifice, I'd like to invite a medical practitioner par excellence, a doctor of repute, a physician, an endocrinologist, renowned scholar and administrator, chairman of Hospital PLC, and the chairman, Federal Tertiary Hospital, chairman of the Committee of Pro-Chancellors of States Universities, a former chairman, Ecobank Nigeria, founder, Sonny Kuku Foundation, and indeed a great philanthropist. He will be coming up now to give his remarks and make his donation. Please welcome to the microphone, Chief Dr. Ologu Sonny Kuku, OR. Can we applaud him more resoundingly?
Mr. Chairman and Mr. President of the Donors Association, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've come here today not only to acknowledge Ameyo Adedevo, but to acknowledge heroic statements that she made. I am particularly today event because I consider myself family, and the Adedevo family has been. Sorry. Ameyo's father was my mentor. Endocrinologist. This is not the best. Okay. Can I have another one? Should I go on? Okay. Ameyo's father was one of the finest physician and endocrinologists in Nigeria. And he particularly took interest in me, and that I'm an endocrinologist today was due to Ameyo's father, Professor Koku Adedevo. And once that happened, he handed over to me his daughter, Ameyo, who I myself mentored to become an endocrinologist. And I'm sure that this will continue from generation to generation. We've said so much about Ameyo, but it is not easy to produce two heroes in one family within a lifetime. As you've heard, when Nigeria named heroes, Herbert Macaulay was one of them. And then his grandchild became a hero, a hero. So it's something that is a pedigree thing. It's just done from family to family. And look at what DRASA is doing now. It's phenomenal. I mean, when you take NCDC, you also then take DRASA, because you may not know how much they're doing, but the effect is multiplying all over the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, As for school head, you can see I'm wearing a white cap. I'm wearing a blue cap because these are the blue-blooded schools. Mention that Ibobi College is a yellow-blooded school, so I won't call it Ibobi. Umpire side, but why you College blue? Then you see Queen's College blue, Queen's School blue. So we're all the same, all blue together. And I was a one-time president of the King's College Old Boys Association, and I've been associated with Queen's College Old Girls Association, and I've also been associated with Queen's School Old Girls Association. When Professor Feyi Adeloke was president, I was special guest in one of the events, and I can see all my sisters here, Bedini Blue and co. Everybody's here, Mrs. Beecroft and co. So we are all one, and we cannot look at the quality of what has happened today. It just shows the quality of the college, and we're very proud. Now, you can see that as an Ijebu man, I haven't spoken about money. And they say one Ijebu man cannot lie to another Ijebu man. Baba Ijebu has already donated Ijebu money. Owo Ijebu, are you not refusing Owo Ijebu? Because Owo Ijebu can send you to prison. No? Anyway, not to worry. I can assure you of one thing. The Lagos State government SSG has left, so I can speak freely. Right now, the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service is after my neck. And I was going to even ask her to please release them from my neck. So I will not mention any figure so that I don't confirm all the BOJs that are given to me. But Mrs. Adamson has been a fantastic organizer. She's also my psychiatrist, because any Nigerian that doesn't have a psychiatrist, something is wrong with the person. If I will be classified as abnormal. And Dr. Olubile is also my male psychiatrist. And if I don't do anything that is correct, they may turn off the life machine. So ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that something will come out of this. And congratulations, Andrasa, very well done. Thank you.
Please can we applaud Mary Sandone Sonny Coco. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate this. And also at this, we have so many people that have that are going to give us large sums. The ushers, please start taking the tray around. Please, let's start taking the tray. Next up, right. Former ambassador to South Korea and Thailand, special representative to the president of ECOWAS, commissioned to Liberia, a diplomat and political scientist. Please welcome to the microphone for their donation, Ambassador Babatunde Olawewaju Ajisomo. Can we applaud His Excellency? Sir, I can bring the mic to you. You don't. It's okay. You just tell us if you don't come. I will bring the microphone. Applaud His Excellency once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, the Director of Organization. So much has been said today that I'm not going to venture to repeat. But to say that I've yes, I'm connected to this program through three approaches. The first one is the person that invited me and my wife, and who is the president of the old student associations of Queen's School at that. Second, the person we are celebrating today, the father was the vice of University of Lagos that was privileged to attend. Great Akokites. Great Akokites. Great. The third is the fact that I had this fortuitous chance of traveling with a person that brought Ebola to Nigeria. That is the person called Patrick Sawyer, who unfortunately caused tragic havoc to our dear sister and to so many people that died. And I will just quickly make this statement that if not because of what our sister did, Patrick Sawyer wanted to come to Calabar, where ECOWAS organized a retreat. And my wife will bear me witness on this very fateful day when we boarded the flight in Monrovia. I told him, I said, Patrick, you are not looking well. He said, yes, Ambassador. I had malaria. I said, but you can't stay behind and take proper treatment. He lied to me that he had malaria. He had contact with an Ebola patient. And ECOWAS invited him without that he had contact with Ebola patient. Unfortunately, he refused to listen to my plea. He boarded the plane, and when he arrived in Lagos, the person that received him, who happened to be a protocol officer from ECOWAS, also succumbed to death as a result of the interactions he had with Patrick Sawyer. If not because Calabar. Oh my God. So what we are celebrating today, we are celebrating courage. We're celebrating an Amazon. We're celebrating an heroine. And this, the old story together to honor Dr. Ameyo Stella, that is a commendable one. Let's give a round of applause to the whole students for this initiative, which deserve the support of all. And I want to echo what the President, Dr. Adamson, said, that Dr. Ameyo should be immortalized by naming one of our tertiary medical institutions in our name. She deserved everything. On this note, I and my wife will also make our contribution for the cause of this project, because we believe that it will go a long way to not only honor Dr. Ameyo, but also in providing quality education for our children. I thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Your Excellency, we thank you very much. And we also say congratulations because you scaled that hurdle way back 6 years ago, even in the course of the fight against Ebola. Thank you very much. We still have so many of us here ready to donate. Please, our ushers will be taking the tray round, table by table. Please, the ushers will be taking the tray round, table by table. We crave your indulgence to avail us your contributions to this worthy cause. Next, I'd like to invite for their donation, Sir Yinka and Kehinde Kamsin, founders and chief executive officer, Sweet Sensation Group of Eateries. Lady Kamsin is a knight of John Wesley, an accountant, business mogul, philanthropist, and entrepreneur. Please can you applaud as I invite to the microphone to make their donation, Sir and Lady Kamsin. Can we applaud them, please? Lady Kamsin, ma'am, please. And immediately she's through, we're going to be presenting her back for her contribution, just as we have done Sir Adebutu Kesinti and our professor. Lady Kamsin, we're waiting. Okay, we've already done that. Okay, please, can you present the plaque to Lady Kehinde Kamsin? We thank you. Next, I'd like to invite entrepreneur, a petroleum geologist in oil and gas, the founder, chief executive officer, Niger Delta Group of Companies, the president and chairman, Geotech Systems Limited, the past president and a fellow of the Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists, and Alex Adams Award winner of Petroleum Explorationist, and marginal folks. I'd like to invite Engineer Dr. Lai Fatona, ably represented by the CEO of ND Western, Engineer Eberechukwu Oju. Please can you put your hands together for him?
Thank you, MC. Just to say good afternoon, everybody. I'm representing Dr. Wala Fatona, Vice Chairman of my board, ND Western. Dr. Fatona is out of the country at the moment, and so he's not able to be here physically and presently. So I'd like to keep this short, just reading the energy in the room. We truly celebrate Dr. Ameyo Adedevo and ND Western as a company identify with what the old girls are doing today to honor her memories. And we would like to stand behind the advocacy of naming a first-tier medical institution after her name. I think that's a worthy cause. As the president have said, we want to stand behind that. ND Western is an indigenous oil company that was founded by Dr. Fatona and some of his partners, and today is the leading indigenous company in Nigeria. As a company, we will support this with a handsome donation, which Dr. Fatona have passed privately to the president. That's on behalf of ND Western, and we are extremely excited to be a part of this project. In addition to what ND Western is doing as a corporate organization, Dr. Fatona's personal family foundation is also making additional donation to support the cause. So that's two for the price of one today. So once again, we want to encourage other donors that are here to say, please do support this worthy cause, and we will be closely associated with the project to ensure that it does indeed come to a worthy conclusion. On that note, once again, congratulations and thanks for a good event. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, Engineer Orji, Engineer Ebere Choko Orji. At this point in time, we will be recognizing and presenting plaques to some of our donors. I'd like to start off by calling Mrs. Angela Enua. Mrs. Angela Enua of Punch Newspapers. Can we applaud her, please? Please, can we applaud?
And in petroleum, they are making a donation of 10 million. Also, the same company for his foundation is making a donation of 5 million, making 15 million. Let's give it to Andy Petroleum. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow, that's 15 million. God is good. We are going to build the Students' Assembly Hall. Praise the Lord. Praise Jesus.
Thank you very much. 15 million already. Thank you very much, Engineer Lai Fatono. And please, Engineer Orji, extend our gratitude at this point in time. I'd also like to call on Mrs. Adiola Omikule. Mrs. Adiola Omikule. Mrs. Omikule, please. Can we applaud her as she comes forward? Photographer, we need you here as she's receiving the plaque. Can we have her picture captured, Mrs. Omikule?
No.
Please, can we applaud her? Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Mrs. Fumi Tomori. Mrs. Fumi Tomori. Mrs. Fumi Tomori. Engineer Ebere Orji, please can you come and receive the plaque on behalf of Engineer Lai Fatono. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to invite Lady Maiden April. Lady Maiden April.
So that they know what we are giving her or what
Maiden April. Next is Mrs. Bumi Adeboya Cameroon.
Please can we put our hands together? Cameron, thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. We will do the presentation for Lady Maiden Ebro subsequently. At this point in time, I'd like to invite Dame Debola Williams. At this point in time, Dame Debola Williams will be moving a formal vote of thanks.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I stand on
Before the formal vote of thanks, Lady Maiden Ebro will be presented a plaque of recognition. Lady Maiden Ebro, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations, ma'am. And while we are still presenting plaques of recognition, Mrs. Nike Adamoleko will be presented and the representative will receive it on her behalf. Mrs. Nike Adamoleko. Representative of Mrs. Nike Adamoleko, please. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. I crave the indulgence of Dame Deborah Williams, and I apologize for the break in her formal vote of thanks. Please can you applaud Dame Deborah Williams for the moving of formal vote of thanks. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the day is fast spent. I have no doubt in my mind we've all had a wonderful time here this morning and afternoon. We set and largely, I believe we have met our objective. Although in the tradition of fundraising, it's a continuum. So at this point, on behalf of the president of the Old Girls Association of Queen's School, Ede Ibadan, and all of us, we want to thank you all for sparing the time to be here with us today. We thank you for all you have done to support us. We thank you indeed for your generosity, for everything you have done to make today a success. We pray that you will continue to support us to ensure that this dream becomes a reality. There are so many names to be mentioned. A lot of our invited guests, special guests, have gone, but I still want to thank Arise Television, Guardian Newspapers, and Punch, all the representatives of the governors who were here, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, our chairman who has left, Mr. Felicia Phillips, and of course, our chief guest of honor, Baba Jebu, Chief Kesintin Adebutu, all our invited guests once more, and last but certainly not the least, I want to thank all our old girls for doing wonderfully well. I think we all deserve a round of applause. Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting anything less from queens. We were trained as queens. We have always lived as queens, and we will remain as queens. And I also want to thank our MCs. They have done a fantastic job. Our MC in-house, Madam MC, you have done very, very well. Everybody who has contributed in one way or the other to the success we have recorded today. Thank you very much. God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Dame Deborah Williams. And the last item, before we have something to bite, is, I know that we're already having some things to bite. So I'll invite Mrs. Fumi Ajayi Chamori to please thank God on our behalf for a huge, successful, I would say, Mrs. Fumi Ajayi Chamori. Can we applaud her, please? Can we applaud her as she comes forward? To thank God for a successful, I would say.
Olúwa Olódùmarè, ẹnu wa ò gbọpẹ́, ètè wa ò gbàyìn, fún gbogbo oore yín, fún gbogbo oore ọ̀fẹ́ tẹ́ fún wa, fún gbogbo nǹkan tó dára, àlàáfíà, ayọ̀. Ẹnu wo àmọ́ bá ṣe máa dúpẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n lọ́jọ́ èní, we come here to give you praises for keeping us healthy, for keeping us in joy and happiness to see this day. And we thank you for the success of the event. We thank you for the lives and times of our mayor. We thank you for her family. We thank you for all our invited guests, all our donors, We thank you for our executives, both at the national and the state level. We thank you for all our schoolmates that we've been living together in joy and peace, managing this association and doing what you have given us courage and strength to do. We ask you, Almighty Father, to give us better strength and courage to carry out this plan. Without you, we are nothing, but with you, we are everything. God grant us the grace to be your faithful servant, serving you until the last days of our life. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Funmi Ajayi Tomori. Distinguished queens and the gentlemen that we have here, we want to say thank you once again. And please stay back because we still have some things for you to bite. Thank you and God bless you all. Please, all girls, stay behind because the convention will hold immediately. Please stay behind. The convention will hold immediately. Thank you.
Music and fashion colored lights, pretty girls and their jeans too tight. All the guys holding conversations, trying to hit it, yet keep their reputation. Most of the girls seem to have a secret plan. They didn't come to dance, they just came to get a man. Then some of us just came to look around. But whatever you're here for, you got to get on down. Come on, everybody up. It's time to party now. Turn up the music and let's get on down. I said, everybody up. It's time to party now. Come on, baby, and get on down. Party now. Get on down. That won't hesitate to have a sign waiting for you at the gate saying you must have fancy clothes and money to spend, 'cause if you don't, they won't let you in. So if you've had enough of all of that stuff, feel free to boogie with us. Time to relax from working 9 to 5 all day. And if you go to school, it's time to put your books away. All right, now everybody up. It's time to party now. Turn up the music and let's get on down. Everybody up. It's time to party now. Come on, baby. Let's get on down. It's time to party now. It's time to get on down. It's time to party now.
old girls, we are still going to have the convention. Maybe it won't take too much of our time. But please, while we are waiting for the president to come in, because I don't know what she has in mind, while we are waiting for her to come in, can we please have a few reminiscences? Some of the songs we used to sing and some of the things we used to do. Oh, yeah, okay. That lady, I see change. Okay, are you ready? Hello, baby. Just slide. Just ready. Are you ready for slide? Okay. Okay. Can we move forward? Can we move forward? So that we don't have too much space. Those at the back, please move forward a little. All girls at the back, please can you move forward a little? Please move forward a little. It's your boy,
Now you know it's there. Teach you, I'll teach you the electric slide.
Hello,
Tonight,
ladies.
Gonna make this a night to remember. Get ready. Tonight. Gonna make this a night.